Honestly, there's an epidemic going on in the dropshipping space. This lie that you can have AI build your store in 10 minutes and all you have to do is rip some ads off of TikTok, but launch them on Facebook and you're magically going to start making money. And all the dropshipping tutorials nowadays are preaching this, and it's turning ambitious entrepreneurs into dropsheeple. People that are always relying on shortcuts and AI to build their entire business for them so they can play make-believe entrepreneur. And I get it. There's so many challenge videos that just rip some ads and they make money for a week, but they never show you what happens afterwards when the store crashes and burns, because if dropshipping was truly that easy, then you would have already gotten rich doing the exact same thing and bought your $25,000 Ralph Lauren cowboy jacket. But no, you're stuck at home in your little $50 H&M puffer jacket that mommy bought you because you didn't realize the only way to be successful with dropshipping is through obsessing over the two levers that grow your brand faster than everything else, but it's too boring and it's too hard for dropshipping to do, so they just outsource it to AI, and that's why they're gonna stay broke forever. So if you give me the next 421 milliseconds, I will teach you exactly what it takes to make any dropshipping product a winner once and for all. So let's first diagnose on the website side of things what you've actually been doing wrong, because if you do have dropshipping disease, which you do a little bit, then it doesn't matter how many products you test or how hard you work, you're always gonna be losing money. Now, when it comes to dropshipping, it could take anywhere between 10 product tests or 50 product tests before you get your first winner. And since you're a reasonable entrepreneur, you want to get there as fast as possible. We want to get there in 10 product tests. But your actions don't align with that. Because when you're building your product pages, you're doing the generic product page templates that everyone else is using. You're using Shrine. And then when it comes to your offer, you only test one offer, and it's usually a 50% off discount, the most basic thing you can do. And then when it comes to writing your copy and your ads, you're using the same ChatGPT prompts that everyone else is using, and it's from the same shirtless, jacked Magnus Carlsen videos. And believe me, those prompts are great, but everyone is doing it, my friend. That's not gonna differentiate you enough. And in order to actually make money, your skills need to be developed to this red line. And usually most beginners start right here. So how do we get there as fast as possible? How do we have this exponential curve rather than us stagnating, and then maybe by the 50th or 75th or 100th product test, our skills will finally be there. But by that time, let's be honest, you will have already quit, become an incel, and probably just watch pickup artist videos all day. So I would say the best analogy for this, if you want to develop your skills as fast as possible and not have dropshipping disease, is think of this like a video game. If you wanted to be the best video game player in the world, let's say it's at Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, whatever your poison is, and if it's Call of Duty specifically, you're on a 1v1 on Russ versus Scumpy, the greatest Call of Duty player of all time. Don't at me, it's just straight facts. But if you were to battle against him and all you could do is train versus the computer, what mode would you choose? Because most dropshippers are gonna go the easy route. They're gonna go on rookie mode because, oh, look at me, I'm getting all these kills. I'm so good at the game, but I'm only developing very basic skills. And in the dropshipping context, this is just people that are always gonna be copying their competitors' websites, using the basic prompts, building your store with Shrine, just always copying. And it's so easy, but you never actually learn anything. Your skills never actually develop. And although it looks like you're testing products faster and you're getting more work done, there's this illusion that you're actually doing work. You're really just burning money and you're not really learning any skills. So although this is the easier route where it's more fun, you're not actually gonna make money, which is the whole point of this game at the end of the day. Now, if you compare that versus the Chad Scaler, who, yes, in the beginning, they go on the hardest mode, the legendary, whatever you want to call it, just pure death mode, it's going to be harder. They're going to hate their lives. They're going to say, God, I have to do this every single time, and sure, it's going to suck, and you are going to get burnt out. But because you're dealing with more adversity, and the standard of each one of your websites is so great, you're not doing cookie cutter templates. No, you are building a custom product page depending on the sections for whatever niche of product you're selling. Because for a health product, you're gonna have different sections versus a fitness product versus a clothing product. So every time you have a custom product page template, and every single time you develop your own copy and obsess over your customer avatar to truly understand who you're marketing to, and you also are split testing your offer. So every time that you test, you can find out from actual data what offer is making you the most money. And then by the 10th product test of doing this arduous, harder process, your skills are going to develop to where you actually beat Scumpy and the rest of your competitors. Your competitors are right here. They're stagnating, but you are growing consistently because you're challenging yourself to actually learn the fundamentals and reach the barrier of success that your skills need to be if you're gonna make a product a winner. So let's actually show a practical example on the website side of things of what this looks like with a dropshipper testing the same product versus a Chad scaler or your competition, because there's really 3 levels to this and you need to be at the Chad scaler tier. So when it comes to breaking down a website, it really is 3 key elements at the end of the day. It's your offer, it's your copy, and it's your social proof. So obviously we have the same Pilates board example here, but the execution is completely fundamentally different. So let's take a look at our first section here. So our offer. What's the offer we have right here for our really good dropshipper? Oh, look at me. I got this really pretty store. I built it with Atlas in 10 minutes. A 61% off offer. That's it. Very random number, very just random compare at price. There's no real value being established. There's no complimentary gifts. There's nothing really fancy here. And it's really just a random, 69, nice, but it's not usually an offer that's going to convert very well. Now, if we're going to take this to the next level, let's take a look at your competition. Your competition is doing a few grand a day. They've already gotten that advantage of reaching the market a little sooner with the product, but that doesn't mean you can't make money. But what are they doing? Okay, they got a little ka-ching offer here. They've probably done a little bit of split testing, maybe once or twice a month. They'll actually change the price or change the offer or change the gifts that they're offering. And it's a pretty solid offer. They got, okay, their main product, plus you get yoga socks, you get this reformer, you get the Pilates ring, blah, 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 blah. So they've done a little bit of research and refined their offer. Not bad. That can get you to 3 to 5 grand a day pretty easily. But what's the Chad scaler doing to beat their competition and develop their skills faster than everyone else? Well, the Chad scaler does a God tier value stack where they're not doing, in this case, so there's about 3 free gifts. They're doing, in this case, 6 free gifts. Strategy call, meal plans, socks, resistance bands. And you may be wondering, Ethan, how do I get ideas for all these complimentary gifts? Look up your product on Amazon and see what are people also buying. Or if you just look up the niche of your product, in this case, if I look up Pilates, I can see after the word Pilates, it'll recommend, socks, bands, other words of products that you could potentially upsell and throw into your offer to make it more enticing. And as you can see right here, they're selling this for $140, and they probably have a greater margin than these guys right here selling the same board for $97. But the offer is so much more enticing. There's so much more value being given here, even though they're still making more money. So that's how you do it, where you split test your offer ideally once a week minimum using A/B convert. But if you really want to be a Chad tier God level scaler or buy your $25,000 Ralph Lauren cowboy jacket and have your army of gold digging Latinas, twice a week is the way to do it. A/B convert, you can have a redirect test, 50% of your traffic to one product page, 50% to another. And you can also in Facebook have campaigns that just dedicated go to one product page versus another. So if you take your best ads, for instance, run your best ads to one product page versus another, you can see which one performs better. So on the offer side, that's how we go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. Now, when it comes to the copy side of things, let's look at the copy we have right here. We're just using only AI copy from Mark Builds Brands. Again, I love Mark Builds Brands. Hey guys, it's Mark here. But you can't just rely on prompts like everyone else is doing and then just call it a day. You just copy and paste and you don't have any thoughts. You're not editing, you're not learning, you're not developing the fundamentals of copywriting for your own self. And you won't know what good copy looks like if all you're doing is just copying from the actual copywriters. That's a lot of copy all in one, I know. But when we look at this, transform your body anytime, anywhere. I can say that about any fitness product on earth. Is that specific to one customer avatar? Who knows? Because it's so generic. Transform your body in what way? Get a six-pack, get more tone, lose weight. Is it for older people? Is it for younger people? It's so flowery. It sounds good, but it means fucking nothing. And that's the generic copy that you have to get rid of. You have to go a layer deeper. And really, if we're being honest, these guys just don't even really know who they're trying to market to. They have a faint idea. We have a young woman here, then we have a super old grandma here. Like, it's just all over the place. It's an absolute nightmare on the copy. Now, when we go to the next guys here, okay, they're probably using, a good amount of AI. And they're using, some generic copy and benefits that sound right. So if we go here, achieve the best shape of your life. Again, that's so generic. And lose excess, they spelled excess wrong, body fat in 30 days. So at least, okay, we got excess body fat. So they're going with the weight loss angle. Excess body fat in 30 days in the comfort of your own home. It's decent. And they're going primarily with the lose weight, lose up to 10 kilograms of fat in your first 10 weeks. That is incredibly outrageous claim that is going to get them banned in most cases. And also, I'll be honest, this is going to lower your conversion rate if you have a claim this crazy, because people are naturally going to say, it's not believable. And you need to have believable outcomes and desires you're promising. If you're saying you're going to lose 100 pounds in a day, no one's going to buy from your website. It sounds great. It's not realistic. People aren't going to believe you. So again, while this is the next level, and this brand is scaling with this product, with this copy, because they're a little bit more specific on that desired outcome. It's not transform your body, it's a specific lose weight angle. So they're marketing to people trying to lose weight. Okay, cool. So they have narrowed down the avatar a little bit, but that third level of really understanding your copy is doing AI for your customer research and coming up with ideas for, yes, the headlines and who's your main avatar and what are the outcomes they want. But then you refine this copy. You put it together based on one avatar and try to make the copy as relatable, emotional, and educate them on what the other products are and why they haven't worked for whatever is the specific outcome you want, which could be losing weight, or it could be just having an exercise that is consistent for you, that you can actually stick to, that's actually fun to do, and you can lose weight in 15 minutes a day, perhaps. So for them, that's the angle they're actually going for. I'll actually show you real quick because this is a great website. This is 28 Pilates. You can see specifically what's the avatar. We can see it immediately. At home, busy moms, this is how you are going to lose weight in 15 minutes per day. They're calling out specifically busy women with busy schedules. I love that. It's incredibly nuanced. So if you're, an older woman who's retired, probably not for you. If it's for someone else, a younger girl and blah, 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 probably not for you. We're specifically calling out busy women. So it's already like the 25 to 45, married, most likely have a 9-to-5 job. It's hard to work out every single day. So they want something at home that they can rely on that's actually fun and they can still get toned and still stay in shape. That's how specific it needs to be with your copy and your avatar. Now the final route, social proof. When it comes to dropshipping, they're just gonna have social proof slapped on as the last thing, and they don't really put any thought into it whatsoever. So we see here, really easy to use. It delivers an impactful workout, doesn't take up much room, blah, 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 blah. Perfect. I tell you guys all the time, all of your reviews are just imported from AliExpress and you call it a day. This is what I mean. And you guys probably think, oh, Ethan's just exaggerating. No, I see it 24/7. They're just throwing in social proof just to have it. Now, the next layer beyond that is having social proof that most likely is written by AI, and it sounds a little generic because all the reviews sound very similar, but at least it handles some surface level benefits. So let's take a look at, again, what these guys are doing instead. So to go a layer deeper, we can see here when we go to the actual reviews section here, they have some reviews, but they don't have text underneath explaining their transformations and journeys. So here, I've always wanted to try Pilates. I've been using the blah, 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 blah for a month now, blah, blah, blah. So it's all very similar structure. You can tell it's written by ChatGPT. I've wanted to give EverFit a try, EverFit Pilates. Typically, reviews don't also have the name in there all the time. It's easy to use. I love how it works, blah, 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 blah. It's all kind of like the same points, if we're really being honest at the end of the day. Easy to store, perfect for my. So it's somewhat right. But the last way and the best way to do your social proof is having each review talk to a specific segment of your customer avatar. So mentioning also the alternatives they tried, what their journey was beforehand, and why they like this one so much more. So again, just really quickly looking at this social proof. If we go down to this first section, really specific details, lost 9 pounds, lost 33 pounds. You can see the before and after differences. Last summer, I hated how I looked. So emotional, so relatable. Love that copy. But since using this, I'm halfway through my challenge. I feel confident in my own skin. That's exactly what the customer really wants. It's not just losing weight. It's the value of how I look at myself and perceive myself. So this is the final layer of social proof. And this is how you separate yourself from the drop sheeple that are just using AI and whipping up a random offer in social proof and thinking they deserve to be a million. Now, before we get onto the ad side of things, if you are enjoying what you're hearing so far, then definitely consider subscribing because I only drop bangers every single week on strategies that will help you grow your dropshipping brand based on the strategies that I'm currently implementing across my portfolio of 7-figure brands. All right, so now the million-dollar question. How do we get rid of this drop sheeple disease when it comes to testing products with our ads? Because we know it only takes one winning ad that has the right formula of talking to one avatar with one message, one awareness level, and one desired outcome to be able to scale our dropshipping brands from 0 to 30 grand a month, or in this case with my student Izzy, from basically nothing to 100 grand months and over $1 million in his first year dropshipping. Now, in order to think of the math, most smart dropshippers realize that when they test ads for a new product, even when they've had successful products in the past, usually around 2% of those ads will become winners. Ads that get the majority of spend, that can spend thousands of dollars a day and be profitable. And when you're newer and you're testing ripped ads, typically that number drops down to about 0.5%, especially when you are ripping ads. That is the cardinal sin. Now, to really illustrate this in your brain, I want you to close your eyes just for a minute. Just play along. And imagine you're trying to find your dream wife, your Aubrey Plaza, a beautiful, intelligent, smart, witty, toxic, perfect woman. And in order to do that, while you're single, you decide to go on a few dates. Now, the dropshipper decides to go on 3 dates. And to make it worse, these are blind dates. With the first 3 women that match with him on Tinder, he just goes to the fanciest restaurant and he spends not $100, but $500 feeding Gorlock the Destroyer.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Because he doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know the type of woman he really wants to attract. And because of that reason, all the dates go horribly wrong, the conversation's dry, he gets a friend zone hug, and then he decides to swear off women forever and just watch Coach Kyle and RSD Tyler pickup videos for the rest of eternity. A lot like how dropshippers will first get into this, get an initial high, they'll test a bunch of products with ripped ads and they think they're making a lot of progress, but they make no money and they think dropshipping is dead or a scam and it's all bullshit. Now, we already discussed the math behind their ad testing strategy was that I'm going to test with 3 ripped ads that have a 0.5% chance of working, and that means I have a 1.5% chance of success, 98.5% chance of failure. And I get it. You've watched these Ant or Anthony Eclipse challenge videos where they ripped 3 ads and they magically became successful. Newsflash, they already tested those products. They already knew the ads that were going to be successful, so they make it look much easier than it actually is. If you go ahead and do that, you are going to lose money. So how can we become a Chad scaler and 25x the chance of success when we test ads for this same exact product? Well, going back to our analogy of finding our wifey, imagine you were a Chad scaler this time, and instead of 3 dates, you go on 20. And instead of just 20 dates with random girls, they're all blind dates, you already pre-qualified them. You already know what you wanted. You know that specific girl you're really looking for. But to really just cement the idea in your head, you go on dates with 4 kinds of women. Career-focused women, traditional family-oriented girls, more creative artsy girls, and maybe some artsy influencer e-girls, whatever it is. But you go on dates with 4 categories of women and 5 dates with each type. So you go on 20 dates in total because you know what you're looking for. And then that way you can narrow down what type of girl you really like, where the conversation's flowing, you feel that energy, you feel that vibe, and you don't want to smash immediately after the first 2 dates. And that's it. That's how you need to approach your ads, because if we did the same math, where if we did, okay, our ad success rate, if we do everything right and we plan out our ads strategically, is 2%, and you times that by 20, then that means we have a 40% chance of success rather than 1.5%. So just to show you an example, if we were selling that Pilates board, our ads, if we had one key avatar, so that 25 to 45, maybe married, just a little bit older, has that 9 to 5 going on, what is the desired outcomes that that specific avatar wants? Let's say her name is Sarah. She's 32. Maybe she's married, maybe she isn't, but she has a dog. She lives in her own place, and she is struggling to work out consistently because she doesn't know how to find the time while also working a 9 to 5. So for her, she could have multiple desires. One, maybe she's seen the Pilates craze, but she saw, oh my God, it's $300 a month to get in those classes. So I want to have an at-home Pilates board that costs $100 one time where I can give it a try and actually see if I like it. Now, the next desire could be being a green flag, being a wifey material. So if you want to be a green flag, if you want to be an it girl, if you want to have your summer bod, et cetera, if you want to be wifey material, then you need to get into Pilates, and this is the easiest way to do so. Now, number 3, enjoy working out again. You have a busy schedule, then this is the easiest way to work out consistently and get that tone body you wanted. And then finally, number 4 could be a specific area of toning your body, which could be snatching your waist. That could be the core desire, or just losing weight. So you're going to test these different outcomes, and you'll try 5 variations of each angle, so 20 ads, to see what hits. And it's not going to work for every product. You will still have failed products, but your chances of success are going to be so much higher that I told you in that chart. By that 10th product test, you're most likely going to have a winner because your skills have developed by doing the hard work early with your first test. Now, through this, let's say the angle that works is being a green flag. That identity, they want that identity at the end of the day. It's not buying a product, they're buying the dream version and outcome of themselves. So you really paint a great detail of that with the wifey material, then boom, all you have to do from there, 80% of your new ads are variations, new hooks, new ways of saying, be a green flag, be a wifey. So hey, If your Hinge or if your Tinder is dry as fuck right now, then you need to start doing Pilates. If you want your dream guy to come up to you, if you want to have guys literally thirsting over you in your DMs, you got to be a Pilates girl. You got to be a Pilates baddie. Tie those outcomes to your product that they want after you do your research. So you're going to do that. You'll try other variations of ads, new problems, length of ads. So 20-second ads versus 5-second versus 50. Trying different music, different voiceovers. And then 20% of your new ads should be new frameworks. So for instance, I usually aim for a baseline of 4 new frameworks of ads every single week. So it can be problem solution, it could be how to, it could be 3 reasons why. Inside my one-on-one program, I have so many different templates. We have ones for image ads, social proof, big claim headline, problem solution, social proof. Again, and they all have different ways you can execute them. So when you already have all these frameworks, all these references, and you also have some prompts like this one right here where it writes out the script so you can just edit it and refine it and polish it, then you can make so many targeted, structured, successful ads that have the best chance of working so that you can keep scaling to $3,000 a day, $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and more. And of course, if you get custom content through Incense, Billow, or Fiverr, you are going to be crushing everyone else selling the exact same product as you. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. YouTube is recommending this video right here as the one that's most likely going to give you the most value, but make sure to subscribe if you want to get more bangers that will help you grow your dropshipping brand. And of course, if you want to work with me, first link in the description down below to get all those resources, templates, and calls every single day with yours truly to review your products, your website, and your ads to scale to $1,000 a day guaranteed, or we'll keep coaching you for free until you do.